Said to be buried together, for thousands of years, the mystery of the lost tomb of Cleopatra and Mark Antony has remained a mystery. Perhaps that is, until today. This never-before-seen tunnel has been something regarded as an engineering miracle. And while that whole thing is huge, how does all of this happen in the first place?
The discovery of Cleopatra's tomb is undeniably one of the most thrilling and mysterious achievements in archaeology. Cleopatra VII, the final ruler of the Ptolemaic Kingdom of Egypt, has fascinated people for centuries with her intelligence, political shrewdness, and her famous romances with Roman leaders Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. For ages, the location of her final resting place remained one of history's most elusive mysteries. The breakthrough in the search for Cleopatra's tomb emerged in the early 21st century. This incredible discovery was driven by Dr. Zahi Hawass, Egypt's former Minister of Antiquities, and Kathleen Martinez, a Dominican lawyer turned self-taught archaeologist with a deep passion for Cleopatra. Martinez, fueled by her admiration for Cleopatra and her extensive research of ancient texts, posited that Cleopatra and Mark Antony were buried in the temple of Taposiris Magna, near the ancient city of Alexandria. Martinez's theory was rooted in a detailed analysis of historical accounts by Plutarch and Cassius Dio, suggesting Cleopatra might have been buried in a temple dedicated to the goddess Isis. This idea contrasted with the prevailing belief that Cleopatra was interred within Alexandria itself. In 2005, Martinez obtained permission from the Egyptian authorities to commence excavations at Taposiris Magna. The excavation at Taposiris Magna was challenging. The site, located on the edge of the Libyan desert, posed significant difficulties due to its unstable structures and the complex layers of archaeological deposits. Over several years, the team uncovered notable artifacts, including coins with Cleopatra's likeness, statues, and inscriptions, all supporting the hypothesis that the site was connected to Cleopatra. A particularly intriguing aspect of this discovery was the mysterious and seemingly serendipitous nature of many findings. Key discoveries often coincided with unusual weather events like sudden sandstorms and unexpected rains, almost as if guiding the archaeologists to crucial areas. Some team members reported vivid dreams and visions of ancient rituals, which they interpreted as spiritual guidance. An especially fascinating discovery was a large, unfinished tunnel beneath the temple, leading to a series of chambers. This tunnel, carved with precise craftsmanship, suggested that the burial complex was intended for someone of extraordinary significance, possibly Cleopatra herself. Inside these chambers, the team found a hidden room containing a collection of golden artifacts and inscriptions referring to a Queen of Kings, a title often linked to Cleopatra. The initial announcement of the discovery of Cleopatra's tomb attracted immense media attention and widespread public interest. Press conferences were held, documentaries were produced, and the artifacts were meticulously catalogued and preserved. Many of these artifacts, including statues, jewelry, and coins, were exhibited in museums worldwide, drawing millions of visitors eager to learn more about Cleopatra and her era. Following the discovery, Taposiris Magna became a focal point for ongoing archaeological research. Scholars and historians collaborated to further investigate the surrounding area, uncovering additional structures and artifacts that offered more insights into the Ptolemaic period. The discovery also led to a re-evaluation of other potential burial sites across Egypt, prompting new excavations and yielding fresh historical data. The site itself transformed into a popular tourist destination, significantly boosting the local economy and fostering a deeper appreciation for Egypt's rich cultural heritage. Educational programs and public lectures spread the knowledge gained from the discovery, inspiring a new generation of archaeologists and historians. Cleopatra's tomb holds a treasure trove of unique and fascinating facts that shed light on her life and reign. One of the most remarkable aspects of Cleopatra was her linguistic prowess. She was fluent in several languages, including Egyptian, Greek, Latin, and possibly others, which allowed her to communicate effectively with various cultures and political leaders. This multilingual ability was a significant asset in her diplomatic engagements and helped her maintain strong political ties. Cleopatra's reign was characterized by a remarkable blend of Egyptian and Hellenistic cultures. She embraced Egyptian customs and religious practices, presenting herself as the reincarnation of the goddess Isis, while also maintaining strong connections to her Greek heritage. This cultural syncretism was reflected in the art, architecture, and religious ceremonies of her time, creating a unique and vibrant cultural landscape. The tomb at Taposiris Magna, believed to be Cleopatra's final resting place, is a testament to her architectural vision. The complex features intricate carvings, hidden chambers, and sophisticated tunnels, highlighting the advanced engineering and architectural skills of the period. The tomb's design and construction reflect the grandeur and sophistication that Cleopatra likely envisioned for her eternal abode. The artifacts discovered within the tomb are rich with symbolism. Golden jewelry, statues, and inscriptions reflect Cleopatra's royal status, religious beliefs, and political ambitions. These artifacts offer a glimpse into her life, her reign, and her desire to be remembered as a divine ruler. The symbols and inscriptions provide valuable insights into how Cleopatra viewed herself and how she wanted to be perceived by future generations. The discovery of hidden chambers and tunnels within the tomb complex suggests that Cleopatra may have taken great care to ensure the security and sanctity of her final resting place. These hidden features indicate a sophisticated understanding of architecture and a deep respect for the afterlife. The hidden chambers and tunnels add an element of mystery and intrigue to the tomb, highlighting the lengths to which Cleopatra went to protect her legacy. The tomb complex at Taposiris Magna is extensive, featuring a series of interconnected chambers and tunnels. The main burial chamber, believed to be the final resting place of Cleopatra, is adorned with intricate carvings and decorated with golden artifacts. The size of the tomb and its elaborate design indicate that it was intended for a person of significant importance, supporting the theory that it belongs to Cleopatra. Among the artifacts discovered were numerous statues, some depicting Cleopatra herself, others representing Egyptian gods and goddesses. The team also found a wealth of golden jewelry, including necklaces, bracelets, and rings, many of which are inscribed with hieroglyphs and symbols associated with royalty and divinity. Additionally, coins bearing Cleopatra's likeness and inscriptions were uncovered, further supporting the identification of the tomb. These artifacts not only highlight Cleopatra's royal status, but also provide a tangible connection to the historical figure, enriching our understanding of her life and reign. One of the most enduring mysteries surrounding Cleopatra is the exact circumstances of her passing. The traditional account suggests that she took herself by allowing an asp, a venomous snake, to bite her. However, some scholars propose alternative theories. Another intriguing theory is that Cleopatra's relationship with Rome was more complex than commonly portrayed. Some historians believe that her alliances with Julius Caesar and later with Mark Antony were part of a broader strategy to create a unified Greco-Roman Egyptian empire, with Alexandria as its capital. This theory suggests that Cleopatra's ambitions extended beyond Egypt, envisioning a new world order centered around her rule. The discovery of Cleopatra's tomb has also sparked speculation about a potential curse associated with disturbing her final resting place. Similar to the curse of Tutankhamun's tomb, some believe that those who enter Cleopatra's tomb may face misfortune or supernatural retribution. While there is no concrete evidence to support this theory, it adds an element of mystery and intrigue to the discovery. One of the most mysterious coincidences related to the discovery of Cleopatra's tomb is the alignment of astrological events. Researchers noted that significant breakthroughs in the excavation process often coincided with notable celestial events, such as eclipses and planetary conjunctions. Some believe that these alignments were not mere coincidences, but rather signs of divine intervention or ancient knowledge encoded in the tomb's design. Several members of the excavation team reported experiencing intuitive insights and inexplicable hunches that guided their efforts. These insights often led to significant discoveries, such as the location of hidden chambers or the interpretation of cryptic inscriptions. While these experiences cannot be scientifically explained, they add a layer of mystery to the discovery process. Cleopatra's legacy also includes her efforts to position herself as a divine ruler. She was closely associated with the goddess Isis and often depicted herself as the goddess's earthly embodiment. This association was part of her strategy to legitimize her rule and strengthen her connection with the Egyptian people. The artifacts found in her tomb, including statues and inscriptions depicting her as Isis, underscore this aspect of her reign. In the heart of Lebanon's Bekaa Valley lies an ancient wonder that defies the sands of time, the Baalbek temple complex.
This is Baalbek in the Lebanon. Each of these 3 blocks weighs 900 tons.
Home to some of the largest and most mysterious stone blocks ever used in construction, these colossal remnants of the Roman Empire's grandeur weigh as much as 1,650 tons each, more than an entire fleet of blue whales. How these stones were transported and precisely set into place remains one of history's most captivating puzzles.
I don't know how they did it. All I know is they did it. I don't think anybody knows how they did it, how they lifted those stones, how they brought them up to that level.
Join us as we delve into the enigmatic world of Baalbek, where ancient engineering meets modern curiosity, challenging everything we thought we knew about human ingenuity.
A Roman site for sure, but what about this bizarre enclosure wall that surrounds it?
Nestled in the fertile Bekaa Valley of Lebanon, the ancient site of Baalbek is a testament to architectural and cultural grandeur spanning thousands of years. Known as Heliopolis during the Hellenistic period, Baalbek's journey began as a modest Phoenician town named Baalath, dedicated to the worship of Baal, a god associated with the sun and storms, pivotal to the agricultural rituals of its people. The transformation of Baalbek accelerated following its conquest by Alexander the Great in 334 BC. Under Alexander, the city absorbed Greek cultural and architectural elements, emblematic of his broader strategy to fuse Greek and local traditions across the regions he conquered. This Hellenistic influence set the stage for Baalbek's later architectural evolution under the Romans, who saw the city's strategic and religious potential.
What archaeologists say, they found they could move 900-ton blocks, but 1,000 tons was too much for them.
Roman architects and engineers embarked on an ambitious construction agenda in the 1st century BC, which saw Baalbek grow into a grand ceremonial center. The centerpiece was the Temple of Jupiter, one of the largest temples in the Roman Empire, featuring 54 massive granite columns, each standing 70 feet tall. Today, only 6 of these majestic columns remain, but they continue to dominate the landscape, offering a window into what was an architectural marvel of the ancient world. Nearby, the Temple of Bacchus stands as a testament to Roman decorative art and architectural detail, with its well-preserved carvings depicting mythological scenes and festivities. Not far from these, the Temple of Venus showcases a unique circular design, breaking from traditional Roman architectural norms and highlighting a syncretic blend of Roman and local religious practices. Baalbek's construction feats, especially the transportation and placement of massive limestone blocks, draw parallels with other ancient marvels like the Egyptian pyramids and Stonehenge, showcasing the Romans' advanced engineering techniques.
Look at the famous King's Chamber. Its walls and its ceiling of the King's Chamber are all made with gigantic blocks.
The site was not just an architectural statement, but also a cultural hub, attracting pilgrims and spectators from across the empire to its religious festivals and games, blending Roman and local traditions in grand displays of public celebration. In comparison to other monumental Roman sites like the Pantheon in Rome, Baalbek stands out for its scale and the complexity involved in erecting such gigantic structures far from the Roman heartland. The Pantheon, with its massive dome and oculus, reflects similar ambitions in Roman architectural prowess, but in a vastly different urban setting. Both sites, however, illustrate the Roman Empire's architectural ambition and its ability to mobilize resources and technology across its vast territories. The stone blocks of Baalbek, particularly within the Temple of Jupiter complex, represent some of the most astonishing elements of ancient architecture found anywhere in the world. These massive stones serve as a testament to the extraordinary engineering prowess of their builders. Their construction techniques and capabilities continue to spark both fascination and scholarly debate. At the heart of the complex sits the Trilithon, a trio of stone blocks that form the podium of the Temple of Jupiter. Each stone measures roughly 64 feet in length, 13 feet in height, and 14 feet in width, and weighs about 800 tons. The precision with which these gigantic stones are fitted together, without any mortar, is truly remarkable. Such an engineering feat required not only advanced planning and ample resources, but also the ingenious use of simple machines like levers and inclined planes, combined with significant human and mechanical effort. Just about 900 meters from the main temple complex, in a nearby quarry, lies the Stone of the Pregnant Woman.
The quarry contains a number of very large blocks that were never transported.
This monolith, approximately 69 feet long and weighing around 1,000 tons, has never been moved from where it was originally cut. The stone's name comes from a local legend suggesting that touching the stone can ensure a safe and easy delivery for pregnant women, highlighting the cultural and superstitious significance these ancient stones hold within local folklore. In 2014, an even larger stone was unearthed in the same quarry.
Why only recently excavated? Because the whole site was covered in sedimentation.
At 64 feet in length and estimated to weigh about 1,650 tons, it stands as the largest known stone ever carved by human hands. This discovery significantly expanded our understanding of the capabilities of ancient engineers and their technological advancements. Comparing these megalithic stones to other ancient wonders provides further context to their impressive nature. For instance, while Stonehenge in England is renowned for its circular arrangement of standing stones, the largest of these stones weighs merely about 30 tons, far less than the massive blocks of Baalbek. The construction of Stonehenge involved transporting stones over long distances, presenting a different type of logistical challenge and ingenuity. However, the sheer scale and weight of the Baalbek stones showcase an unparalleled architectural ambition in the ancient world. Similarly, when we consider the Egyptian pyramids, particularly the Great Pyramid of Giza, the limestone blocks typically weigh between 2 to 15 tons, with the largest granite stones in the King's Chamber weighing between 25 to 80 tons.
Now, Egyptologists will tell you that, they could move heavy blocks because they put them on wet sand and they push them along on wet sand. Maybe if you're just at ground level, that will do, but when you're 350 feet above the ground, as you are in the King's Chamber, that won't do at all.
The stones of Baalbek far exceed these in size, highlighting the unique challenges and skills required for their transport and placement. Unlike the primarily tomb-like structures of the Giza pyramids, Baalbek's temples served ceremonial and religious functions, indicating diverse uses of massive stones across ancient civilizations. This comparison not only illustrates the monumental scale of Baalbek's construction, but also underscores the diverse architectural and cultural expressions of ancient societies. The Baalbek temple complex, with its colossal stone blocks, stands as one of the greatest engineering achievements of the ancient world. The tasks involved in constructing this monumental site weren't just about brute strength. They required meticulous planning, advanced organizational skills, and a deep understanding of physics and engineering principles. These elements combined challenge our modern perceptions of ancient technology and showcase the ingenuity of our ancestors. The architectural grandeur of Baalbek was no accident. It reflected the Roman Empire's immense ambition and its desire to display power and divine favor. The sheer scale of the temples served multiple purposes, both religious and political, reinforcing the might of Rome and the sanctity of the location. This complex was designed to awe and affirm the presence of Roman authority in the region. The transportation of the massive stones is believed to have been primarily conducted using rollers made from large tree trunks, with the stones themselves placed on sledges. These sledges, acting as platforms, helped distribute the weight of the stones and prevented the rollers from sinking into the ground. Historical texts even mention the use of olive oil as a lubricant on the paths, a technique that significantly reduced friction, making it easier to move these enormous weights over considerable distances. The placement of these giant stones remains a subject of debate among historians. Techniques such as the use of wooden cranes, which were similar to those used in medieval constructions, likely played a role. These cranes, utilizing ropes, pulleys, and possibly treadwheels, would have amplified the force exerted by humans or animals. Another plausible technique involved constructing large earth ramps, which would have provided a gradual incline to drag the stones into their precise positions. Lever systems, employing long wooden beams to lift and position stones, might have also been used, requiring less material than ramps, but a greater understanding of leverage mechanics. Drawing parallels, the construction techniques theorized for Baalbek closely resemble those hypothesized for the building of the Egyptian pyramids, particularly the Pyramid of Giza. Like Baalbek, the transportation of the pyramid stones likely involved sledges and possibly rollers, with the use of water as a lubricant depicted in ancient Egyptian wall paintings. For lifting, the Egyptians are believed to have utilized a combination of ramps and lever systems. Constructed over a millennium before Baalbek, The pyramids highlight a continuity in complex engineering techniques that span cultures and ages, underscoring a shared architectural heritage in the ancient world. This shared legacy speaks volumes about the ingenuity embedded in ancient construction practices, linking disparate cultures through their monumental achievements. Imagine standing before a vast network of subterranean caverns, extending thousands of square meters deep into the earth, carved from the unique volcanic tuff known as Oya stone. When these caverns at the Oya stone quarry in Utsunomiya were first created, it seemed nearly impossible for humans of that era to shape such an immense and complex structure, yet somehow they did, with nothing more than rudimentary tools and sheer human effort.
I want to know what else is going to be found that hasn't been investigated yet at all. We're just touching the edge of a huge mystery.
Did this really happen? Or was there more at play here than meets the eye? Fast forward to today, and despite our advanced technology and engineering prowess, replicating such a feat remains a formidable challenge. This marvel of both natural formation and human endeavor invites us to explore its depths, uncovering the secrets held within its echoing chambers and imposing walls.
I think we're confronted by an enormous mystery with megalithic sites all around the world, and we don't understand them properly.
The Oya stone quarry, with its deep historical roots in Japan's architectural landscape, offers a fascinating glimpse into the evolution from localized resource extraction to significant industrial use. The exact discovery date of the quarry isn't well documented, but evidence suggests that small-scale extraction of Oya stone began around the Heian period.
I think the dating of quite a number of megalithic sites needs to be reconsidered.
It quickly became popular for its unique properties, particularly its ease of carving when freshly quarried, which made it ideal for constructing religious structures like temples and shrines, as well as for creating detailed statues for these sites. As we move into the Edo period, the role of Oya stone expanded dramatically. This was a time of relative peace under the Tokugawa shogunate, marked by urbanization and the burgeoning need for more durable building materials. Oya stone, known for its enhanced fire resistance, became a critical resource in constructing robust fire-resistant walls, particularly in Edo, modern-day Tokyo, which was prone to frequent fires.
Wildfires are what you expect when you have a bit of a comet air bursting up above you.
The quarry's activities intensified with technological advancements in mining, such as the introduction of better chiseling tools and more systematic methods for removing large stone blocks. The expansion of cities during this period necessitated large quantities of durable materials, and Oya stone was extensively used not just for building walls, but also for bridges and other infrastructure projects that required materials that could withstand both the elements and the threat of fire. As demand surged, the shogunate implemented stricter regulations to manage the quarry operations effectively, ensuring the extraction rates were sustainable and that the stone remained available for future generations. When we compare Oya stone with European limestone, which was used for similar purposes, we notice both materials share the property of hardening over time, which is ideal for constructions meant to endure. However, while limestone in Europe was often chosen for both its practical and aesthetic qualities, Oya stone's use in Japan was deeply intertwined with the country's cultural and religious practices, reflecting a unique blend of utilitarian and spiritual values. This distinction highlights not only the functional importance of Oya stone, but also its role in shaping the cultural heritage of Japan. The Oya stone quarry is celebrated for its production of Oya stone, a unique type of green, tough volcanic rock. Known for its distinctive qualities, this stone has been a cornerstone in Japanese architecture and art for centuries. Let's dive deep into its rich historical tapestry and uncover some fascinating details along with a compelling theory. Tracing back to around 800 AD during the early Heian period, the operations at the Oya stone quarry began in an era marked by the consolidation of power in the Japanese imperial court and a cultural boom influenced heavily by the Chinese Tang dynasty aesthetics. Initially, Oya stone was primarily used for constructing the foundations and lower structures of buildings in local villages, largely because of its accessibility and the ease with which it could be carved when freshly quarried. What makes Oya stone particularly intriguing is its unique physical property. It is relatively soft when first quarried, but hardens upon exposure to air. This feature allowed ancient builders to initially carve it with ease, and as it hardened, it would transform into a durable structural element. Not only did its warm beige to light grey hues and porous texture enhance the natural aesthetics of traditional Japanese buildings, but it also provided excellent insulation properties. As the Heian period progressed, the cultural center of Japan shifted to Kyoto, increasing the architectural demand for Oya stone, possibly spurred by its fire-resistant properties, an essential feature in an era prone to wooden structure fires. By the late Heian period, the stone's reach extended beyond local regions, finding its way into more significant and prestigious construction projects across Japan, such as temples, shrines, and statues.
I can't help thinking time capsule, that there was an intention to preserve this.
Ancient texts often highlight its use in substantial state-sponsored construction projects, suggesting a growing importance in the architectural landscape of the time. The rising demand for Oya stone led to a significant expansion of the quarry operations. Quarrying techniques evolved from simple manual methods to more organized mining activities involving larger labor forces. This expansion not only catered to the increasing architectural demands, but also became a focal point for local economic development, providing numerous jobs and contributing to the growth of surrounding communities. An intriguing theory about the Oya stone quarry is that it was discovered and initially developed under the auspices of the imperial family of Japan. This theory suggests that the imperial family might have used the quarry to demonstrate their divine right to rule by constructing temples and palaces with this unique stone.
Ancient cultures all around the world preserved a memory of a high civilization.
The frequent use of Oya stone in imperial and noble projects during the Heian period supports this theory. The distinctiveness of the stone and the grandeur it imparted to buildings would have symbolized the celestial and exalted status of the emperor, aligning perfectly with the imperial ambitions of the time. This fascinating hypothesis adds an additional layer of historical and cultural significance to the already rich narrative of the Oya stone quarry. Nestled in Utsunomiya, Tochigi Prefecture, the Oya stone quarry offers more than just a peek into the world of mining. It presents a fascinating interplay of geology, history, and acoustics. Let's delve into the intriguing details of its underground caverns, their extensive history, and unique characteristics. Spanning an impressive 20,000 square meters, these caverns form a vast subterranean network that has been shaped over centuries. In some areas, they plunge as deep as 60 meters, equivalent to a 20-story building. This vast and varied landscape not only offers a glimpse into the Earth's depths, but also tells the tale of its past through the very walls that form it. Etched with the marks of pickaxes and chisels, the cavern walls narrate the history of mining techniques that evolved through the ages. Occasionally, miners have left behind tools and artifacts, which have been preserved and are now part of the quarry's historical tapestry. The caverns also display an array of natural and man-made formations, from varied color strains and vein patterns to different mineral compositions, each adding a layer to the story of the region's geological history. Beyond their historical and visual appeal, these caverns are known for their exceptional acoustic properties. The porosity and density of the Oya stone allow for sound to be absorbed and dampened, creating an environment with minimal echo and clear sound quality. Drawing a comparison to the ancient underground cities of Cappadocia in Turkey, both carved directly into volcanic rock, highlights interesting contrasts. While Oya's caverns were primarily used industrially for mining, Cappadocia's were designed for habitation and protection, equipped with living quarters, churches, and even ventilation shafts. An intriguing theory about the Oya stone quarry suggests that its extensive network and depth could have offered strategic military advantages during historical conflicts. The caverns, with their complexity and depth, might have served as excellent hiding spots or secret passages, a theory supported by Japan's historical use of landscape features in military strategy. Moreover, the Oya stone quarry has caught the eye of the film and television industry due to its dramatic and otherworldly ambience. For instance, Martin Scorsese's Silence used the haunting backdrop of the caverns to portray the rugged landscapes of 17th century Japan, enhancing the grim atmosphere of the story. While not actually filmed at the quarry, the scenes within the fortress-like environments of Inception evoke a similar monumental scale and maze-like interiors that one can associate with the Oya stone quarry's vast network.
I think we're confronted by an enormous mystery with megalithic sites all around the world. And we don't understand them properly. The people who made it knew what they were doing. You don't move around 20-ton megaliths in high relief. You don't do that.
There's no way that's a first try.
No, there's no way that's a first
Site,
try.
yeah.
There's obviously a hidden background to that. So I think the dating of quite a number of megalithic sites needs to be reconsidered.
Korea, a land steeped in history and shrouded in mystery, holds a secret that has baffled archaeologists and historians for centuries. Scattered across its rugged landscape are thousands of megalithic structures known as dolmens, silent sentinels from a forgotten era. Were these massive stone structures merely tombs for the elite, as some scholars suggest? Or do they whisper of a time when giants roamed the earth, leaving their colossal mark on the very stones themselves? Let's explore the mysterious world of Korean dolmens, where myth and reality intertwine, and uncover the truth behind these ancient wonders.
I want to know what else is going to be found that hasn't been investigated yet at all. We're just touching the edge of a huge mystery.
The Korean dolmens, mysterious and monumental, have always held a place of reverence within local folklore. Ancient populations in Korea viewed these structures not only as significant landmarks, but also as sacred sites possibly built by giants or legendary heroes, as hinted in ancient myths. This deep-seated cultural recognition has meant that the discovery of dolmens by Koreans themselves is not documented as such. It is woven into the fabric of their history and mythology.
Ancient cultures all around the world preserved a memory of a high civilization, of prehistory.
Systematic documentation of these megalithic structures began during a tumultuous period in Korea's history, the Japanese occupation from 1910 to 1945. During this time, Japanese archaeologists, including notable researchers like Sekino Tadashi, embarked on the first formal studies of the dolmens. Their aim was part of a larger effort to catalogue and understand the peninsula's prehistoric landscape, which inadvertently involved imposing control over Korea's cultural heritage. These early 20th century surveys marked the first time the dolmens were mapped and described in detail, shifting their perception from elements of folklore to subjects of archaeological and historical importance. Post the Korean War, as South Korea focused on rebuilding its national identity, there was a resurgence of interest in preserving the country's rich cultural heritage. This renewed interest paved the way for more localized and intensive studies of the dolmens. By the late 20th century, Korean archaeologists had started employing modern techniques such as radiocarbon dating, detailed site excavations, and even advanced technologies like 3D scanning and GIS systems. These tools allowed for a more precise understanding of the dolmen's age, construction methods, and their original use, enriching the appreciation of these ancient structures.
This is not something that everybody knows. Carbon dating can only date organic material. It can't date stone.
The turn of the millennium brought international recognition to this fascinating aspect of Korean heritage when several dolmen sites were designated as UNESCO World Heritage Sites. This prestigious status underscores the significant archaeological value of the dolmens and highlights their importance in understanding the prehistoric era on the Korean peninsula.
Our understanding of prehistory must change.
This recognition not only boosts preservation efforts but also fosters global appreciation for Korea's ancient monumental wonders. Building on the historical significance of the Korean dolmens, let's delve into the remarkable engineering skills that these ancient societies showcased through their construction. The transportation and assembly of these massive stone structures present a fascinating study of prehistoric engineering. The stones used in the construction of dolmens were often colossal, sometimes weighing several tons. Moving such heavy stones over long distances was a formidable challenge that required ingenious solutions. It is believed that the ancient builders used logs as rollers under the stones, a technique known as log rolling. This method significantly reduced friction, enabling human or animal power to transport these massive stones efficiently. This technique bears a striking resemblance to those used for constructing Stonehenge in England and the Moai statues of Easter Island, where similar log-based systems were employed to maneuver large stones across rugged terrains. Upon reaching the construction site, the next hurdle was lifting and positioning these heavy stones accurately. Earth ramps made from piled soil and stones likely facilitated the elevation of these stones to their desired height. Alongside these ramps, levers and simple wooden frameworks would have been used to hoist the stones into position. The use of levers provided a mechanical advantage that allowed smaller groups to perform these monumental tasks, showcasing not only technical knowledge but also effective teamwork and resource management. The choice of stone was crucial for ensuring the durability and structural integrity of the dolmens. Granite, commonly used in these structures, was favored for its hardness and resistance to weathering, which speaks volumes about the ancient builders' understanding of material properties. The quarrying of these stones was a meticulous process that involved using harder stone tools, possibly made from basalt or even metal tools in later periods. The labor-intensive chipping away at rock beds to extract usable blocks required precision and planning. After quarrying, the stones were carefully shaped and smoothed to ensure a perfect fit in the construction. This involved not only large-scale shaping to create flat surfaces for the capstones, but also more detailed, finer work to guarantee the structural stability of the dolmen. The final smoothing of the stones might have been achieved through abrasion techniques, using sand or smaller stones to grind down the stone surfaces, ensuring that each piece would fit together seamlessly in the final structure. The strategic placement and precise alignment of these structures highlight a sophisticated knowledge of astronomy and engineering.
We think it makes more sense. Take the geology, take the astronomy. This monument has its origins 12,000 years ago.
The dolmens were not simply erected in random locations, but were carefully placed to align with specific astronomical events, such as the solstices. This alignment suggests that the dolmens served dual purposes, not only as tombs but also as astronomical observatories. The precision required for such alignment indicates that the builders possessed an advanced understanding of astronomy and geometry, which is quite remarkable for any prehistoric society. The installation process of the dolmens also reflects an in-depth understanding of structural stability. The foundation pits for the upright supporting stones were dug deep into the ground, ensuring a secure base capable of supporting the massive weight of the capstone. This indicates a grasp of soil mechanics that was well ahead of its time. Furthermore, the upright stones were often positioned at a slight inward angle, a strategic choice that enhanced the stability of the structure by evenly distributing the weight of the capstone and improving the overall durability of the dolmen. When we compare these construction techniques with those used in ancient Egypt, we find interesting parallels and contrasts. Like the builders of the Egyptian pyramids, the creators of the Korean dolmens utilized ramps and levers to move and position large stones. However, the purposes and accessibility of these structures were quite different. While the Egyptian pyramids were primarily built supposedly as tombs for the pharaohs and the elite, signifying a hierarchical society, the Korean dolmens were more universally used across different strata of society. This thoughtful approach to the construction and placement of dolmens not only ensured their longevity, but also imbued them with significant astronomical value, making them an integral part of Korea's historical landscape. The dolmen sites in Korea not only offer a window into the Neolithic and Bronze Age periods of the region, but also demonstrate the advanced prehistoric engineering skills and deep-seated cultural traditions of their builders. The impressive size and weight of the stones used in these structures speak volumes about the sophistication of ancient construction techniques, a sophistication paralleled by few other ancient structures worldwide. These stones can measure anywhere from 1 to 7 meters in length and often exceed a meter in thickness. The variation in size across different sites suggests a diversity in burial practices and social hierarchies. Moreover, some dolmens may have served purposes beyond burials, perhaps as markers of territorial boundaries or as sites for ritualistic activities. The logistical challenges of moving and positioning such massive stones were formidable. Transporting these immense weights from quarry sites to their final locations required not only significant physical effort, but also intricate planning and the cooperation of entire communities. When we compare these engineering feats with the megalithic temples of Malta, we see similarities and differences in construction techniques that reflect each culture's unique approach to megalithic structures. Both the Korean dolmens and the Maltese temples highlight an advanced understanding of construction techniques from similar eras. However, while Korean dolmens typically feature simpler structural designs with a focus on vertical and horizontal stone placement, the Maltese temples boast more complex architectural elements like intricate floor plans and decorative facades. This fascinating comparison underscores how different cultures adapted their megalithic construction techniques to fit their local traditions and available resources. Tucked away in the rugged terrains of the Altai Mountains, where the borders of Russia, China, Mongolia, and Kazakhstan meet, lies a fascinating piece of history that has captured the imaginations of archaeologists and historians alike: the Denisova Cave.
This is an issue that I go into in America before. And what first drew me into it was Denisova Cave in Siberia.
This isn't just any cave, it's a treasure trove of human evolution, nestled in an area known for its breathtaking biodiversity and complex geological history. The mountains themselves are alive with a rich variety of plants and animals, setting the perfect backdrop for a story that's as much about the natural world as it is about our ancient ancestors.
I think everybody's heard of the Neanderthals, and these days I think everybody's heard of the Denisovans as well.
The story of Denisova Cave began to unfold in the 1970s, when Soviet scientists first explored its depths. At that time, their eyes were set on unraveling the geological and paleontological mysteries of the region, largely overlooking the cave's potential to unlock secrets of our past. It's named after Denis, an 18th century hermit who once called the cave home, adding a touch of human history to its ancient walls. With its intricate network of chambers and galleries, the cave hinted at stories of long-term habitation by early humans, waiting just beneath the surface to be discovered. But it wasn't until 2008 that the cave truly stepped into the spotlight, thanks to the discovery of a small finger bone.
In Russia, in Denisova Cave, they find a single pinky bone from a little finger. And what they discover is, this isn't a Neanderthal, this isn't an anatomically modern human being, this is another human species.
This wasn't just any bone, it belonged to the Denisovans, an ancient group of hominins previously unknown to science. Suddenly, the world was paying attention, eager to learn more about these mysterious inhabitants. The cave, with its rich layers of history buried within, revealed that it had been a bustling crossroads for different groups over tens of thousands of years. What's particularly intriguing about the Denisova Cave is not just its archaeological wealth, but also its location. Nestled in a remote part of the Altai Mountains, reaching it is no small feat. The harsh climatic conditions add an extra layer of challenge for those daring enough to explore its secrets. Yet it's precisely these obstacles that make the cave so alluring to researchers from across the globe. Every expedition brings us closer to understanding not just the Denisovans, but the broader narrative of human history. Imagine stumbling upon a piece of the puzzle that is human history, hidden away in the depths of Siberia's Denisova Cave. The Denisovans are a bit of a mystery, genetically distinct from both modern humans and Neanderthals. Their DNA tells us they branched off from Neanderthals around 400,000 years ago, enriching the narrative of the Pleistocene era's human saga. But when it comes to what they looked like, we're mostly in the dark. Our clues? Just a finger bone, a few teeth, and a piece of skull. Though these fragments are robust, they hint at Denisovans being well equipped for surviving the tough Pleistocene Asia. Now here's where it gets really interesting. The Denisovans didn't just keep to themselves, they left a mark on us modern humans. Certain groups today, especially in Asia and Oceania, carry Denisovan DNA. For instance, the indigenous people of Melanesia, including Papua New Guineans, have about 5% of their DNA from Denisovans. This reveals a history of ancient interbreeding that is more complex and common than we ever imagined.
Anatomically modern humans interbred with Neanderthals. You can't interbreed with another species. They clearly were human beings.
Denisovans mixed not just with modern humans, but also Neanderthals and possibly another yet unidentified ancient human group. But what about their way of life? The Denisova Cave has given us a glimpse, yielding sophisticated tools, a bone needle, and even jewelry. These finds suggest a culture and level of sophistication that challenges our understanding of archaic humans. Their discovery of the Denisovans has been a game-changer in evolutionary biology, painting a picture of our past that's far more intricate than previously thought. It's not just about who we are, but who we're connected to, revealing a web of interactions among ancient human species across Eurasia. Yet, for all we've learned, the Denisovans remain shrouded in mystery. With each fossil fragment and DNA sequence, scientists are slowly piecing together the jigsaw of our ancient past. The Denisovan genome in particular continues to be a treasure trove of information, promising to unlock even more secrets as research progresses. This story is far from over. It's an ongoing journey of discovery into who we are and where we come from. Siberia's Yakutia region, known for its jaw-dropping temperature extremes, is home to a place as intriguing as its ominous name suggests: the Valley of Death. Tucked away in the northeastern part of Siberia, in the Sakha Republic, this valley is not just a testament to nature's extremes but also a canvas for mysteries that boggle the mind. What sets this valley apart are the curious metallic structures scattered across its landscape. Picture this: dome-like formations and metal objects, some peeking out of the earth as if partially buried treasures all wrapped in a mystery. Are they ancient artifacts, remnants of meteorite impacts, or something else? The truth is, we're still scratching our heads trying to figure it out. Getting to the Valley of Death is an adventure in itself. It's remote, wildly inhospitable, and the weather swings from scorching summers to winters that would give even the hardiest explorer pause. This makes studying those mysterious structures all the more challenging. Local folklore adds layers of intrigue to the valley. The Yakut people have tales that could make your hair stand on end, associating the valley and its metallic mysteries with danger and otherworldly energies. According to legend, these structures could wield unknown powers, causing illness or worse to those who dare too close. While these stories add to the valley's mystique, they remain unverified whispers of the past. Scientists, on their part, have theories that could explain the existence of these structures. Some suggest they might be the aftermath of meteorite impacts, pointing to Siberia's history with celestial events like the famous Tunguska explosion. Others speculate they could be the work of ancient humans or a civilization lost to time, leaving behind these puzzling artifacts. But here's the rub. Actually exploring this area is incredibly tough. The extreme climate, the area's seclusion, and the sheer lack of infrastructure make sustained research difficult. This scarcity of empirical data means much about the Valley of Death remains a tantalizing mystery. This shroud of mystery isn't just a magnet for scientists. Historians, paranormal enthusiasts, and even adventurous tourists are drawn to its secrets. The allure of uncovering more about Siberia's ancient past and its uncharted territories is irresistible. As technology and exploration methods improve, who knows what secrets we'll unearth from the Valley of Death? Until then, it remains one of Siberia's most captivating enigmas, a place where history, legend, and science converge in the most mysterious of dances. Let's dive into one of Siberia's most mind-boggling mysteries, the Tunguska event of 1908. Imagine a blast so powerful it flattens 80 million trees over an area of 2,150 square kilometers. That's exactly what happened near the Podkamenaya Tunguska River in central Siberia on June 30th, 1908. This wasn't just any old explosion, it was roughly 1,000 times mightier than the Hiroshima atomic bomb. The shockwaves from this colossal blast were felt up to 2,000 kilometers away. People at the time reported seeing a bright blue light, almost like a second sun, followed by a series of booms that were strong enough to knock folks off their feet and shatter windows hundreds of kilometers away. Fast forward to 1927, and enter Leonid Kulik, a Russian mineralogist who was the first to scientifically investigate the site. Kulik was expecting to find a meteorite crater, but was met instead with a sea of flattened trees, splayed out from a central point, like the spokes of a wheel with not a crater in sight. The most accepted theory: a small asteroid or comet fragment burst through the atmosphere, exploding 5 to 10 kilometers above ground with the force of 10-15 megatons of TNT. But as with all good mysteries, there are other angles. Everything from a natural gas explosion from the Earth's belly to wilder notions like antimatter or even a mini black hole having a run-in with our planet. The aftermath of this explosion wasn't just a big patch of knocked-down trees, it had a significant environmental punch, boosting tree growth in the area and reportedly causing genetic mutations in plants and animals. Likely thanks to the extreme heat and shockwave, it even had a hand in global atmospheric changes, like the creation of night-shining clouds and a dip in atmospheric transparency across Europe and Asia. But here's where it gets even juicier. The Tunguska event has been a hotbed for conspiracy theories and wild speculation. From alien spacecraft crashes to top-secret weapon tests, the event's mysterious nature has sparked imaginations worldwide. Despite decades of research and countless theories, the Tunguska event remains one of the 20th century's most tantalizing unsolved mysteries. It's a real-life sci-fi story set in the remote Siberian wilderness that continues to intrigue and puzzle us to this day.
In the scorching deserts of southern Pakistan lies an archaeological site that defies explanation. A city frozen in time, now shrouded in mystery and the whispers of lost civilizations. Welcome to Mohenjo-Daro. Once a thriving metropolis during the height of the ancient Indus Valley civilization, this city's remains have puzzled researchers for nearly a century. But why does this city, over 4,000 years old, seem to vanish suddenly from history? Could it be that some catastrophic event wiped it off the map? Perhaps even turning parts of it into glass? Discovered in 1922 by an Indian archaeologist, R.D. Banerjee, Mohenjo-Daro is located on the banks of the Indus River. What the world came to learn through its excavations was the stunning complexity of this civilization. At its peak, Mohenjo-Daro housed as many as 40,000 inhabitants. But the real intrigue lies in its infrastructure, a grid-like city layout, advanced water drainage systems, and meticulously built homes made of baked bricks, a city so well organized that it rivals modern urban planning techniques. But who were these people, and what led to their mysterious disappearance? Let's start by looking at what they built. The city is constructed using uniform, fired bricks, with some weighing over 15 pounds. The scale of the city is impressive, spanning more than 300 hectares, roughly the size of 500 football fields. Each house was carefully positioned to align with the cardinal directions. But how did an ancient civilization develop such precision without modern technology? A central structure, known as the Great Bath, is another remarkable feature of Mohenjo-Daro. Measuring 12 meters long and 7 meters wide, the bath is built with watertight bricks and a sophisticated drainage system, indicating that water held immense significance for the people of Mohenjo-Daro. It is one of the earliest public waterworks ever discovered. But what was the purpose of this massive structure? Was it purely for hygiene, or did it have deeper, possibly spiritual, significance? Let's pause to consider the most perplexing discovery. Some sections of the ruins appear to have been subjected to extremely high temperatures, enough to melt or vitrify stone, turning it into glass. This phenomenon is known as vitrification, something typically associated with nuclear explosions or volcanic activity. Yet, no evidence of volcanic activity or natural firestorms has been found in the region. Could it be that some ancient technology, lost to time, was capable of unleashing such destructive energy? Some theorists have gone so far as to suggest that Mohenjo-Daro might have been destroyed by an ancient nuclear explosion. It sounds far-fetched, but the vitrified remains beg for an explanation. But the mysteries don't end there. Among the discoveries were over 40 human skeletons, lying in the streets and various parts of the city. These remains were not buried in the traditional sense, indicating that whatever caused the downfall of Mohenjo-Daro was sudden and violent. Many of these skeletons showed no signs of trauma, yet some were found in postures suggesting they were fleeing from something. What could have caused such mass panic and sudden death? Was it a natural disaster, a catastrophic flood, or perhaps something even more terrifying? Now, consider this. The massive stone blocks and materials used in the city's construction were not native to the immediate region. In fact, some of the stones used in Mohenjo-Daro's construction had to be transported from quarries located over 300 kilometers away. How did they manage to move such enormous stones without the aid of modern machinery? Could they have had access to technologies we still don't fully understand? This comparison often draws parallels to the pyramids of Egypt and the stone structures of South America, where similarly large stones were transported over great distances. The sheer size and weight of the materials used in these ancient cities challenge our understanding of what was possible in the ancient world. Another fascinating question arises when we consider the precision of Mohenjo-Daro's urban layout. The city's advanced planning and uniformity seem almost out of place in the ancient world. How did a society living over 4,000 years ago manage to create such an organized and structured cityscape without modern surveying tools? It's as though they were working with knowledge that far exceeded their time. Could they have been influenced by some advanced, now forgotten culture? Some theorists have even suggested extraterrestrial intervention, pointing to the similarity between Mohenjo-Daro's design and other mysterious ancient sites across the world. But what happened to this great city? Why was it abandoned so suddenly? While some archaeologists believe that environmental factors such as flooding from the nearby Indus River might have played a role, the evidence of extreme heat and vitrified ruins adds an ominous layer to the mystery. Could the people of Mohenjo-Daro have been the victims of an ancient catastrophe so powerful that it erased them from history almost instantly? As we delve deeper into the mysteries of Mohenjo-Daro, we must also consider the broader context of the Indus Valley civilization. This civilization was one of the largest of the ancient world, spanning parts of modern-day Pakistan, India, and Afghanistan. Yet despite its vast size, we know shockingly little about its people, their language, or their beliefs. Their script remains undeciphered, and their disappearance from history is as sudden as it is puzzling. And what about the artifacts found here? Pottery, jewelry, and even toys have been unearthed, but perhaps the most enigmatic discovery is the so-called dancing girl, a bronze statuette of a young woman that seems to exude a sense of sophistication and artistic flair far beyond what we would expect from a society of this age. Who was she? What role did she play in this mysterious civilization? Now, what could have caused a thriving civilization to vanish seemingly overnight? Let's begin with the most debated theory, the possibility of an ancient nuclear catastrophe. At first glance, the idea of nuclear technology existing over 4,000 years ago seems impossible. Yet, the vitrified ruins, sections of stone turned to glass by intense heat, suggest that something extraordinary happened here. In the 1970s, physicist Dr. Robert Oppenheimer, who led the Manhattan Project during World War II, was asked if the nuclear bomb tested in 1945 was the world's first atomic explosion. His response was chilling. Well, yes, in modern times. Was he hinting at an ancient nuclear event? Could Mohenjo-Daro have been the site of such an explosion? Adding to the intrigue is the lack of traditional warfare evidence in the city. No mass graves, no clear signs of battle, no damage to the structures that would suggest a large-scale conflict. Instead, the bodies found in the city were seemingly untouched by violence, lying in the streets as though something much more sinister and sudden occurred. Could this have been an accident, a release of untamed energy, or something more deliberate, akin to a weapon of unimaginable power? Then, there's the question of the city's eerie disappearance. Unlike other ancient cities that gradually declined over time, Mohenjo-Daro appears to have been abandoned swiftly, almost as if its inhabitants knew that staying would lead to their demise.